On Apple's official AirPods support page, buried under sections most people never read, there's a warning. Death or serious injury can occur if ingested. A swallowed battery can cause internal chemical burns in as little as 2 hours. Apple wrote that warning themselves, about their own product. I'm Dr. What Happens. Today, I'll show you exactly what happens when an AirPod ends up somewhere it shouldn't, the chemistry, 3 real cases from the last 5 years, and the 5 rules every AirPod user must memorize tonight. Case 1. Washington State, June 2023. A 25-year-old woman regularly fell asleep with AirPods Pro in her ears. She listened to podcasts at night, the way millions of Gen Z and millennial users do every single night. She went to bed normally. Around 4 a.m., she woke up coughing, hard. Her throat felt strange, tight, wrong. She instinctively touched her right ear. The AirPod was gone. She had swallowed it in her sleep. First, why does Apple warn about this themselves? Every AirPod contains a lithium-ion button cell battery, the same type of battery pediatric ER doctors call the chemical weapon when a toddler swallows one. In a normal AirPod, that battery is sealed inside plastic. As long as the casing stays intact, swallowing one is mostly a matter of waiting. The object passes through in 24 to 72 hours, just like a coin. That sounds reassuring. Unfortunately, that's only true until the casing breaks. She drove herself to Covington Medical Center. CT scan confirmed the AirPod was sitting inside her stomach. The ER team performed an emergency endoscopy, passing a thin tube with a camera through her throat, into her stomach, snaring the AirPod with a wire loop, and pulling it out. Total ordeal, 9 hours. She later posted the entire experience on TikTok. It went viral. Millions of viewers learned what swallowing an AirPod actually looks like. Here's the chemistry your body begins the second an AirPod is swallowed. Stomach acid is hydrochloric acid with a pH between 1 and 2. That's strong enough to dissolve iron over time. The plastic shell of an AirPod was never designed for that environment. It's designed for ear canals, not stomachs. Now add something people never think about. Digestion isn't passive. The stomach squeezes, twists, compresses, churns, hour after hour. The AirPod isn't simply sitting there, it's being mechanically crushed. Case 2. December 2020. A 7-year-old boy in the United States. He had just received AirPods for Christmas. He was excited. Like many children, he placed one in his mouth while playing. Then, he swallowed it. His parents rushed him to Nationwide Children's Hospital. The chief of pediatric emergency medicine later explained his biggest concern wasn't the plastic. It was the lithium battery inside. Because if the casing cracked, they no longer had a swallowed toy. They had a button battery emergency. The AirPod was removed endoscopically. He survived. He was lucky. The moment the plastic casing fractures, the lithium battery is exposed to wet tissue. Now, everything changes. The exact same chemistry responsible for classic button battery injuries begins. Hydroxide ions accumulate exactly where the battery touches tissue. The pH climbs toward 13. Instead of acid burning tissue, this creates an intensely alkaline chemical burn. Doctors call the resulting injury liquefactive necrosis. The tissue literally begins dissolving. And here's the terrifying part. No one can predict exactly when that plastic shell will crack. It may remain intact, or it may fracture within hours. There is no warning. Case 3. Late 2025. A 3-year-old girl. Her family noticed something felt wrong. She wasn't acting like herself. She was unusually quiet. Her uncle noticed an AirPod was missing. Instead of searching the room, he opened Bluetooth. The AirPod connected. He placed his ear against her stomach. Music was playing from inside her abdomen. They immediately went to the emergency department. Endoscopy retrieved. She survived. 3 completely different patients. Adult, school-age child, toddler. One thing never changed. Doctors removed the AirPod quickly. None of them chose to simply wait. This is why pediatric emergency physicians don't treat a swallowed AirPod like a coin, or a marble, or another smooth plastic object. Once a lithium battery is involved, the question is no longer, will it pass? The question becomes, will the casing remain intact long enough? The Cincinnati Children's Hospital protocol now treats swallowed wireless earbuds as potential button battery emergencies. Because the dangerous clock doesn't start when the AirPod is swallowed. It starts the moment the casing fails. And nobody knows exactly when that moment will arrive. Here's what every AirPod user should remember tonight. 5 rules. Not because swallowing an AirPod is common, but because when it happens, every minute suddenly matters. Never sleep with AirPods in. If you wake up coughing and an AirPod is missing, assume you may have swallowed it. Don't spend 30 minutes searching the bed. Don't assume it fell under the pillow. Go to the emergency department. If the AirPod is still inside your stomach, that is the safest time to remove it. Never put an AirPod in your mouth. Not while changing clothes. Not because your hands are full. Not while talking. Not as a joke. Most adults who swallow AirPods never intended to. It happens during ordinary moments when attention shifts for only a second. Keep wireless earbuds completely away from young children. To a toddler, an AirPod isn't a piece of electronics. It's a shiny object that's exactly the right size to explore with their mouth. The charging case looks like a toy. The earbuds fit easily into small hands. And inside each one is a lithium battery. If a swallow happens, do not eat. Do not drink. Do not try to make yourself or your child vomit. Go directly to the emergency department. When you arrive, say exactly this. I swallowed an AirPod. It contains a lithium battery. I need imaging immediately. For a child, my child swallowed an AirPod. It contains a lithium battery. We need imaging and an endoscopy consultation. The words lithium and battery immediately tell emergency physicians this is not simply a swallowed coin. This warning doesn't apply only to AirPods. Galaxy Buds, Pixel Buds, Beats, Bose, Sony, nearly every modern wireless earbud contains a rechargeable lithium battery. The brand changes, the chemistry does not. This time, the AirPod remains intact. The stomach continues moving around it. The audience now understands what they're looking at. It's no longer just an earbud. It's a race between 2 clocks. One clock says, the object may pass naturally. The other says, if the casing breaks, the chemistry changes instantly. Neither the patient nor the family nor the doctor can predict exactly when those clocks will cross. That uncertainty is exactly why physicians treat these cases with urgency. Most people who wear AirPods every day will never swallow one, but the people in today's 3 stories probably believed the same thing. One was sleeping, one was playing, one was simply a curious toddler. Different ages, different situations, the same hidden danger. A lithium battery protected by a plastic shell that everyone hopes never breaks. Memorize the 5 rules. Save this video. Share it with anyone who sleeps wearing earbuds or anyone with young children at home. Because sometimes the most important emergency is the one you recognize before symptoms ever begin.